Today, we're talking about how we use our voices. And really, the way that this topic came up for us is the idea that, especially for women, but this is happening more and more with men as well, we've been taught to not use our voices, to not speak the thing that's really important to us if it kind of goes against the grain, to really sort of stay silent at times when we know better. And I know in my own story, I have had that same experience. And I would be very surprised if there was a woman or even a person in our audience that had not had that experience at some point. But we're really talking about, how do we honor our voice? How do we honor other people with our voice and honor the message of our lives and the purpose that we have? And really using that also to really call out something a little bit greater within ourselves by using our voices and by expressing ourselves. And I think too, our voice is something, obviously it's in our body, and it's something that we sense. I remember having an experience, this was some time ago, and I had the experience that when I stifled something that I felt was important for me to say, this was sort of the beginning of my journey with my voice, I guess, that I felt it in my body. Something felt off. It was a somatic experience where I could tell that I was doing that to myself. It was because I was started paying attention to it. So I think when we start to pay attention with what's going on in our bodies, I think that whatever way we're going to express ourselves, that it sort of shows up somewhere. Just by asking yourself, if you're in the middle of a heated conversation or a negotiation or something like that, start noticing in your body what's happening. Because when we hold on to our voice, it sort of piles up energy in our bodies that really could be harnessed if we just learn to cultivate that voice in a way that we're really using our communication in a positive way with people, using our communication to express ourselves in a way that is really kind and also at the same time very direct. I think as women, sometimes we're afraid that if we're direct, it will be received poorly or that it will reflect on us as being an unkind person. And actually, especially in dealing with men, I think that men really appreciate it when we use our direct voice and we're very clear about the thing that we want or need. Right. And learning, it can be a bumpy road when you're learning to use your voice. It might not go, if you are used to playing it very quiet or not speaking up for the things that are important to you or that you desire to have, then take it slowly. Be very patient with yourself in this process because it can start out as a little awkward. It's like when somebody starts to create boundaries around something and they communicate them, it can cause a little bit of tension. So I just want to encourage you that when you're in the process of learning this or doing this, that make sure it is something, like Shelley says, that is really important to you. And I love the idea of using our voice. Our voice can be expressed through, again, our relationships, our finances, and really the power we have with that when we use our money as our voice as well. And that's something that Shelley has taught me about in our time knowing each other, is how important that is and the value of that we can either give or invest or purchase in a way that has meaning for us, in a way that, I was just looking at my finances this week and we were talking about this, and I was talking about, sort of where my money goes. And a friend pointed out to me, your money goes into experiences. And I really loved that. And it wasn't something that I had picked out for myself or understood. But as soon as she said it, I said, you're right. It's not really about buying a bunch of clothes or shoes or things for my home. But it really, for me personally, is more, that's the thing that's really important to me, is the experiences that I have. And so, and again, a really big hope for me is growing in generosity. That's another way for me to use my voice. So I really like that you've sort of educated me on that, and how we use our money is really how we use our voice, and to direct that, to have a purpose in that, I think is deeply important. So, my tip going forward this week in using your voice is really pick one area of life. How do you want to use your voice to express yourself? Is it the
Mm,
encouraging of other people? Is it sharing your purpose with the world or sharing your desires or your needs with the world? Is it, voting with your dollars sort of thing? However it is, determine where you want to start with this. If this is something that you haven't really explored before and you're sort of afraid to use your voice, find someone safe for you. Find someone who wants to hear your voice and wants to hear what's inside. And just start
mm,
slowly, one step at a time, sharing more and more and more. And I can say that in this path of sharing, my business 5 years ago, I I didn't know really necessarily how to share about what I did. And just the action of doing it makes things very, very clear because we know what's in here. It's just a
mhm.
matter of putting it out with the world. So I want to encourage you to determine what ways you want to share your voice and to go out and make it actionable this week.
You
Thank
want
you,
today.
folks, so much. We've enjoyed sharing our thoughts on using your voice and our time with you. We hope that you leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this or any way that using your voice has affected your life or where you want to step out in this. We would really love to hear what you have to share. Also, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We put out a weekly message, and we would love for you to be on board with us with that every week. So, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.